Laughing fun.
They were both funny. Hey, internets! It's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. This is Season 2 of our Kids on Bikes campaign. Welcome to Paradise Academy, Episode 33, Fractures. And in just a few minutes, we'll get into a little bit of a recap, and we'll get into the game proper. But first, some announcements. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to draw your attention up to the upper right-hand corner above Tomiko and M's head. You will see what we call domain pops. Terrain treats, domain pops, +1 to fun. They are, of course, a way that you, the viewer, can have an impact on the game simply by subscribing, resubscribing, gifting subs, cheering 500 bits, tipping $5, Ko-fi subscriptions, all that kind of stuff. Turns into domain pops that the players can use to add to their dice rolls and enhance them, or they can choose to use 5 of them to make themselves or anybody else roll on the D100 Mr. Grab Bag table. Now, I did catch, before we went live, Monty DL's resub for 51 months. Thank you, Monty DL. But we have a petition because Tomiko, one of the first and longest running subscribers on the channel, has just reached 69 months.
Nice.
And is petitioning for an extra pop. What say you?
I mean, if this is a democracy, my vote is yes.
Like, I'm asking the players, do you want an extra pop? Do you think you deserve an extra pop?
I mean, gosh, if you want to twist my arm.
There you go.
I could take an extra pop.
I've given it to you. You've got 2 for the price of 69.
Nice.
Woohoo.
That's how we do things here.
So is this a one-time thing, or if anybody else happens to get to 69, is that worth a double?
I don't know. I guess we'll
see. In 4
see.
years, when we're all still playing together, and I reach that milestone.
Monty DL's requesting a D100 roll.
Well,
so
we don't have to listen to everybody.
I'm just putting that out there, as Monty DL is putting that out there. I know Monty DL has subscribed for a long time. Tomiko's called for at least the last 2 rolls, and they were both against Chad.
The world is falling apart. Maybe put that on pause.
No, you guys can choose to do with that what you will. But anyway, that's how the domain pops work. We always appreciate those because, of course, they award domain pops to the players. They also go to increase our sub goal, which we are currently at 43 of 50 subs. September is over on Twitch, but I just had a pop-up that said they're still doing discounted subs, so keep that in mind too. Onward. I want to go over the schedule real quick for reasons, because we're in the midst of some changes on our schedule. Of course, every Thursday you can catch us right here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern with our with this game. Tomorrow night,
called Kids on Bikes.
Yes, tomorrow night, Ted and I will be over on Nerdarchy. Our last appearance was actually something happened, didn't it?
There was a weather incident, and unfortunately, when the DM loses power, you can't really have a game without it.
It was not hurricane related.
Nope.
No.
Just coincidentally, it was at the same time that Helene was going on. Nonetheless,
everybody was safe. Everybody's good.
Everybody's safe. Everybody's good. We're going to be playing tomorrow night. This Monday, which is the 14th of October, or if you're watching this in the future, the VOD will probably be up. We are airing our pre-recorded Scribes and Scrolls finale, episode 104, Witches, Wishes, and Whatnot. Or it might be called Wishes, Witches, and Whatnot. I don't remember which one it was, but
some arrangement of W's.
Regardless, counting the interludes, we figured that we've had about 113 sessions over 3.5 years, and somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 hours of play. And let me just tell you, as a game master, It's epic to finish a campaign, and this is an epic finish to a campaign. There will be tears. There were tears. There will probably be more tears. But please do check that out. This past Tuesday, we premiered the Session 0, which is not normally something that we broadcast, but it's specific to the Scavenger Crimson Catalyst system.
Yes.
The Namburbi is a ritualistic Session 0 that is both real-world mechanical and in-world ritual that takes place. And Marquise took Lloyd and I through that, where we created, not only did we create our characters, we wound up having characters that were the complete polar opposites of what we thought we would. So you can check that out after this week, and the VOD will be up. That will be airing every other Tuesday we're actually moving the time up on that one to 7:30 p.m., I believe, Eastern. And then, of course, every other Tuesday you can catch myself and Em over on, here, but Sky Metal Iron Gods, a D&D 5e campaign. And forthcoming is the new Monday night campaign, a Pathfinder 2e campaign that both Carrie and Carrie and Tamiko.
You're used to saying Carrie and M. It's okay.
We'll be a part of. M's like, what? I am. We have a new Pathfinder campaign that is coming, and it's going to be awesome. Let's get right to the content warnings. We are adults playing teenagers and characters in a fantasy in the sense of make-believe, fictitious world. We are playing in a school setting. You may hear graphic language. You may hear adult language. You may hear graphic depictions of violence, intense emotional role play, topics that include but are not limited to divorce, bullying, abuse, manipulation, and/or gaslighting. Things like that. If that is something that you are not into or do not want to experience, please do take care of yourself and head on out of here. We will not think any less of you. But please do know that we have frequent discussions and have had session zeros and have established safety tools to ensure that everybody has a safe and fun experience around the game table. The safety tools that we use is a traffic light system. We encourage you to use session zeros and safety tools in your own games. Listen, it doesn't matter if you've been playing with the same group of people for the last 30 years. If you're starting a new game, a new system, even a new story, have a session zero. It doesn't have to be long. You guys know each other. Maybe it won't take that long. But make sure that everybody's on the same page. Make sure that everybody wants to play the same game, meaning the same style, the same tone, the same content, and that you have safety tools in place. Especially if you're playing with people you've never played before. But my point is, it doesn't matter the game. It doesn't matter the people. Everybody should have fun and stay safe when playing games. It should feel safe when playing games. So we encourage you to use those safety tools. The last thing is, of course, that I want to remind you that you are enough. We talk about mental health a lot here. It is something that is super important. I believe in being very open and forthright about my own struggles in an effort to hopefully destigmatize and make it easier for other people to talk about their own mental health. It's something that can be difficult when you're in the midst of it to know how to find help. So in order to facilitate that, we have a chat command. You can come here and type !help at any time. It doesn't even matter. We don't even have to be streaming. It could be 3 a.m. on a Wednesday, and you need help, and you can't remember, but you remember, hey, I can type help at MTD. Boom, type it in. Those URLs will pop up. Findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out these websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend. And remember, you matter. With that, I would like to welcome you all to Paradise, Michigan. The iteration is falling apart. You don't know why, but you've seen the first cracks begin to appear. Literal cracks in space and time. Some of you have spent what you thought was minutes looking at a floppy disk directory, when in fact an entire class period had transpired. Some of you wandered the halls for what you thought was the time period of a class, but you spent the entire afternoon absent. One thing that you do know: it may be all fun and games while you're playing and dominating a game of table tennis in gym 1 minute, and then suddenly you find yourself running from an animatronic chain restaurant, non-copyright infringing mouse who's chasing you, along with a animated but empty school mascot costume. Yet you somehow still manage to find a way to make yourselves look cool, taking down these bizarre things. For other people, table tennis didn't work out so well. Tables are being split in half, limbs are being cut apart. School maintenance workers are being found severed in half. But right now, we're going to rewind time back to 4th period. To the beginning of 4th period, when the surprise substitute teacher, Mr. Algernon, appeared. He immediately, after writing his name on the board and introducing himself, told Laz that Vice Principal Sharp wanted to see him in his office, and dismissed Laz. It's after Laz leaves the classroom, leaving you alone at your work table, Billy. Normally the Van Houten twins are there, but we've established that they are absent today. Not surprising, given that their father died over the weekend. Once Laz is out of the classroom, Mr. Algernon walks over to a counter that's off to the side behind the desk, and he picks up a something that's under a green shroud. It's big enough, looks to be about 4 feet square and about 6 or 8 inches in depth. As he picks it up like this, and he kind of looks around the room, and he walks very pointedly over to your nearly empty table, Billy. And he places this large thing down on the table, and he says, "Today, class, we are going to be talking about experimentation." Billy, I need you to roll me a grit check right off the bat.
Let me just verify that I'm rolling the right die. Yep, that's a 4. I'm going to use my gold star and make that a 6.
Okay, now we've already established that Mr. Algernon had to use 3 of his power token to manipulate Laz. He's going to attempt another manipulation. Whoa.
What a loser.
So his first, or rather his fourth die is... Oh, it looks like we did. I'll fix those. The
Hell yeah,
pops
Tamiko.
disappeared. For whatever reason, OBS reverted back to the pre-open state. He's going to go for a 5th token, making that a 3.
Dork.
And he's going to try one final token.
1 hex. No.
It's a 5. As Mr. Algernon is talking about scientists and experimentation and the process of experiments, Billy, you notice that all around you, your classmates are uncharacteristically quiet. It's unusual that so many students, especially with a substitute teacher, are so that they would be so attentive to what he's saying. There is not a person in this classroom that is doodling in their notebook that is in any way not paying attention.
Can I get any kind of like sense of like, is there layers going on here that I'm not seeing? Like, this is the same Algernon that like fed us breakfast yesterday, right? Or Saturday?
Yeah. As far as you can tell.
And that, there he was like, all super nice and nice. Does he seem different? He
seems more formal, and if anything, he seems very much more to you like the Algernon you saw at the barn in the first iteration.
Okay.
As a reminder, he's wearing the white suit, the red tie, the red tinted round spectacles. He pulls the green cloth off of the object he placed on the table in front of you, revealing a foam, what seems to be made of foam board or possibly white plexiglass or white painted wood, you're not sure, but it is a maze topped in clear plexan, inside which you can see 6 white rats. He turns to you, Billy. You know, Billy, scientists are obsessed with experiments. Take rats, for instance. They place them in mazes, simple creatures running down paths that seem to lead somewhere. A dead end here, a little cheese there. It's all meant to trick the rats into believing they've made progress. Their choices matter. But you and I both know the truth, don't we? The maze is never really about the rats. It's about control. The scientists design every path, every corner. The outcome was always decided before the rat ever took a step. The rat never had a choice. Now, look around you. Look at this iteration. Your school, your friends, even your teachers. It's just another maze. The Nexus Project, Director Ashley Raven and Dr. Devin Sharp, they think they've accounted for everything. They're watching us all, experimenting, pulling the strings. They see us as nothing more than rats, Billy, running in circles, chasing illusions of freedom. But the walls shift, don't they? You've seen it. The fractures. The way things start to chip at the edges. You felt the power inside you. I know you've asked yourself, why me? Why do you feel different? Why are you stronger? It's because you are different. You're not like the others. Rosie, Lazarus, Jessica, Orson, even little Kenny Cooper. They don't understand what's really going on. They're too wrapped up in themselves, their own petty dramas, and selfish desires. Especially Rosie. She thinks she knows what's best for her, but she's blind. She's too caught up in her own goals to see the truth, but you've seen beyond the lies, through cracks. You see that they've missed something. Something beyond their control. You've heard the whispers of the jealous mirror, haven't you? That thing, Billy, it's outside even their control. It's an aberration. Something that doesn't fit into their perfect little plan. And poor Anne, trapped within it, bound by a force that neither... Bound by a force that's neither of this iteration nor any other. Hungers. Consumes. But it is out of their reach. And here's the secret, Billy. No one can get her out. No one. But you. Maybe that's why Rosie rushed to interfere at the laboratory. After all, if she had just waited for you, maybe Anne wouldn't have been sacrificed. You're the only one strong enough to do this. You are the only one who can free her. The Nexus? They think they won. They think they've caged you, just like they've caged Anne. But you have the power to tear it all down. To break their maze. To destroy the Nexus Project and take power away from Ashley Raven and Dr. Devon Sharp. Rosie and the others, they're too weak to see what's really happening. You, Billy, better than them. Stronger than them. You deserve more. More than the scraps the Nexus throws you. More than this maze they've built around you. But you have to choose it. I can't force you. No one can. You're not like the others. You have the strength to decide. You can keep running in circles with your so-called friends, or you can take control. Free Anne. Free yourself. Break the Nexus Project and finally be free.
Ow. What do I have to do?
That's what I like about you, Billy. No nonsense, no deliberation, no questioning anything. You take the obvious opportunity. You ever wonder what happened to those classmates of yours who disappeared? Claire, Abby, the others who have vanished?
I have to admit it definitely has been on my mind for a while.
I rescued them. I plucked them from the maze. And I fixed them. They were blind, but now they see. They were powerless, but now they have power. They are outside the Nexus Project's control. But they need a leader. They need somebody who is strong enough, somebody who has power to lead them. Together, we can break this whole thing down.
It works for me.
So it begins. And you see Billy, between you and Algernon, you see what looks like somebody has just taken a brilliant blue magic marker and in the air in front of you scribbled, as you watch as the maze containing the rats, as this line cuts through space, it cuts through the maze, it cuts through part of the top of your workstation, and Algernon reaches out, pushes one half of the maze away. The rats, seeing their opportunity for freedom, scramble out of the maze. Algernon says, "Come with me. Come with me and I will show you how we will tear this whole thing down." And he starts walking towards the door.
I have my bag. I take a look around at the classmates that are probably all still glazed over, and I follow them out.
Awesome.
You exit the classroom, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody moves. Algernon leads you to the stairwell that heads down, and then to the basement stairwell that leads even further down. Same route that was taken to get to Dr. K's hidden laboratory. Except when you emerge into the lab, it is no longer Dr. K's hidden laboratory because there is no Dr. K. There's no green back-to-tanks. There's still a computer array and a large holographic display that's currently showing an image of what looks like the best way I can put it is picture the old Star Wars Trench Runner game where you have those like wireframes, and it's kind of like that, except you can see that it's a wireframe model of Paradise. And in this laboratory, you see them. You see Claire Spicer. You see Abby Hoffman. Nope. Abby Hoffman, somebody completely different. Abby Handler. You see the other two whose names I don't remember at this exact moment. You see that they are sitting in chairs. They are not strapped down, but these chairs all have thick, powerful cables running from them.
Emily Strong, Ethan Cambridge.
Thank you. Emily Strong and Ethan Cambridge. And they are each of them sitting voluntarily in one of these chairs. There are 2 more chairs. You don't have to worry, really, about the empowerment process, because you already powerful. I would like somebody to roll me. I'm going to call for this 4 times. I would like
What about
somebody to
chat?
roll me a D100.
Okay. Ba-da-dum. 1. How many times? 4? You want 4?
I want 4 different people to roll
Four different
to roll
people,
D100s.
I will do it.
Chad, you are rolling for Emily Strong.
Okay.
I got
That's
one.
it. That's
I don't roll well. Can I have chat roll for me?
Sure.
65.
Hey, that's a good
Chat,
idea.
somebody roll first one to roll a D100.
Tell me when you're ready for my roll, boss.
1 second. And happy. Okay, Emily Strong. Chad, what did you get?
That'll be a 65.
Carrie, you're rolling for Claire.
Oh, how appropriate. 52.
52. I need a roll for Ethan Cambridge.
67.
They're all in the middle.
Yeah.
And did we get a number from chat yet?
Yet.
Hurry up, Boxy!
Come on, man. I think he's gonna. 89.
This is like a small spread here, guys. Okay.
A good thing.
So, Billy, as you
Yes.
stand in front of these students, Algernon says to you, you already have power. Children, show them what you can do. Show him what you can do. Emily smiles and walks over to Claire. And Claire goes, why do you always have to pick on me? As Emily
Victim mentality, man.
points at Claire's upper left shoulder, puts her finger on it. And Ethan stands by and says, don't worry, Claire, it'll only hurt for a minute. And Emily just draws her finger across Claire's chest, and you see a bright ribbon of blood. And through the open neck of Claire's shirt, you can see the gash open up where Emily traces her finger. And Claire involuntarily, ah! As Ethan quickly, almost in the like he's zipping something up, moves in the opposite direction, moves his hand across the wound, and all that remains is the blood. You can see the wound healed. She goes, eat that. And Claire kind of snaps her fingers. You get the sense the snap is more like an affectation, because you can see that little vein at her temple as she looks at Emily, and you feel your ears pop for a minute as the pressure changes in this room, and you see condensation rapidly form into a cloud above Emily's head, and then a concentrated rainstorm right on Emily.
She's Storm. Oh no.
And then Abby just kind of steps to the side away from the blood and the water and just says, hey, Billy, saved you a seat. And she motions to one of the open seats, and the whole chair just kind of goes and moves as she moves it with telekinesis.
Awesome.
For the record, in Tamiko and my private fucking conspiracy chats, I called this. Tamiko, you're my witness.
What did you call?
Called this shit. Oh my. I said they're gonna be fucking super villains. Those kidnapped kids are super villains. I
She
know
said
it.
Who said they're
Algernon
villains?
is kidnapping the kids. Algernon is kidnapping the kids to make super villains to be our foils.
Oh, you all think you know what's happening. Whoa, whoa,
Wow.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's clairvoyance. That's clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance? Is that her
That's
superhero name?
Clairvoyance.
It better be.
Oh,
It better
wow.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Okay.
So Claire knows I kind of address the other kids. Claire knows and has seen what I can do, but just want the rest of you to be able to see and to know. And I'll just kind of like crack my neck to the side and I will wolf out.
Wow.
Claire, of course, she does her best to not. In fact, let's find out how well she does. Actually, I'm gonna have her roll a grit check because she wants to pretend like, of course, she's seen this. She's not frightened by this at all.
Whatever.
So that's going to be a grit check for her, which is only a D8. And I'm gonna say that it's at least a 6 for her to
Maintain composure.
yeah, to maintain her composure. So
She does it.
just barely,
Wow.
but she does it. As she just kind of looks, as everybody else kind of freaks, like, whoa, whoa, and you see Emily actually kind of defensively holds her hands up. And Ethan kind of moves behind a chair a little bit. Even Abby suddenly takes a step back away from you.
I don't move, in the direction. I transform, which I imagine there's a size issue and what have you, but I don't know if we've ever described completely, but usually werewolf transformations are, get bigger and stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, you seamlessly move into this transition. And Algernon he steps forward and says, "Quickly, everyone, take your seats." And you can see he kind of, as he takes the seat, he places his hand on the arm of the chair. And you see that he almost collapses into it, but he puts a little more of his weight on it than seems normal as he lowers himself down into this chair. And then he beckons to the others, to all of you, "Please, take your seats." The other 4 quickly move to their chairs and take a seat. You also sit.
Yep.
As soon as you take your seat, Billy, you see from all of you, your chairs, you can feel something in the back of the chair sort of like touching your back, like pinpoints. And you realize as you sat down what you may have mistaken for like screws or rivets or something are actually bioelectric connections. They're not like piercing your skin or anything, but you're making contact with them. You feel a static electrical charge as energy pulses from your body. And then you see the others also as their hair sort of stand on edge. And Algernon says, "Maintain your form as long as you can, Billy. Everyone else, you know what to do. Abby, from her chair, motions towards the table with the 3D representation of Paradise, and just under the edge of the table, you can see as she telekinetically pulls a box forward, and inside are dodgeballs from the gymnasium. And you see her kind of almost like somebody using the force as these balls rise up out, 3 of them out, and she begins to manipulate them in the air so they're revolving around one another. Emily holds out her arm to Ethan as she makes a mark, just drawing a line across her arm, and then Ethan touches it, feeling it, and they begin doing this, making a motion and then a heel, then a motion, then a heel. And then Claire moves the storm cloud and pushes it so that it moves over towards the table. It's no longer raining, but you can see inside the storm cloud lightning. Algernon grips hold of the table and he closes his eyes, and we're going to see.
Jesus. Wow, dude. Ooh, that was a
5,
good power. Oh, okay.
7. Oops. Dang it.
It just wants to go back to Jeremy so much.
That explodes, so he's at 13, plus a free on the third roll, so plus a free one. So 15 on 3. $20 on 4.
Shit.
$23. Now, I would like to point out meta knowledge. Algernon has, within the span of an hour, just expended 12 power tokens.
Him gonna be tired.
I need a grit check from you, Billy.
Oh god.
Is this against the 23?
Yes and no.
Do I
you,
have a sense of...
You do not have to beat the 23.
Do I have a sense of what is going on? Am I trying to... Do I have a sense that I'm like fueling what is going on here? Am I being drained of power to increase theirs? Do I have any kind of...
What is happening?
What's the vibes?
I would say your intuition that you are somehow powering something is accurate. As a group, Algernon seems to be functioning... I don't know how best to describe this other than what pops into my mind is a hand-powered generator. Where the more you turn the crank and the faster you turn the crank, the more power. So if it's a light, more and brighter light is going to appear. Algernon is, for lack of a better phrase, turning the crank. He's trying to boost what the rest of you are doing. But his method requires you to make a grit check. This is going to be a grit check. A group grit check. So you do not single-handedly have to beat the 23.
I've got a 5.
It's a good thing you do not single-handedly have to beat the grit check. So Claire, somebody roll. I'm going to have you guys roll these for me. Somebody roll me a D8 for Claire.
Okay.
Got it. Oh no, M. I sucked last time. Do it.
I rolled an 8.
Okay.
Nice.
So it explodes.
Nice. 4, so 12.
So 12, so we're at 17 between 2. Somebody roll a D10 for Ethan.
Gotcha. That is an 8 as well.
So 25. A D10 for Emily. Or sorry, Abby.
I'll do Abby. D12.
D10.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. D10. That explodes. 15 total.
And sorry, a
Algernon's
what?
gonna be so powerful.
You said you
guys.
exploded?
It was a 15 total on a D10.
A 15 on top of
once.
what were we at? 25?
Yes,
So-
that's 40
So
total.
40, and then a D6 for Emily.
I can grab that.
Chad, you can be Emily.
I can be Emily. It's fine.
Emily.
That's only a 3 though, so Emily exhausted.
So 43
Fuck
total.
Emily.
So it works. What Algernon is doing is pushing. He seems to simultaneously be drawing power from and feeding it back into all of you. Billy,
Yes.
what is a great memory that you have that suddenly comes unbidden to your mind?
The homecoming dance.
In your mind, you see the homecoming dance. You see yourself and Anne being crowned king and queen, and you see that dance, that first dance of the king and queen. And you see nobody else around you. And there's no EMP to interrupt the dance. It's just the two of you in this moment. It's also somehow kind of reminiscent of the ballroom scene in Labyrinth, where little bits of discordant music are slipping through, and you feel like this illusion could shatter at any moment. Algernon kind of glances over at you and says, "Apologies. Happy memories are not my forte." As he holds it together, and you can now see, Billy, as the power lines that are running from each of your chairs have what appears to be like blue LEDs sort of indicating movement. Very 1980s sci-fi. And it's picking up. And it's feeding into that table
Oh my god.
with the holographic image of the town of Paradise. And you see, as the town of Paradise, this green wireframe image, you start to see little arcs of energy, blue scribbly lines begin to appear, severing through pieces of the wireframe. As you and the previously missing kids and Algernon are actively trying to force the iteration to either overload or reboot or who knows what for sure. With that, we're going to cut back to the chaos that is the last period of the day. And I would like to see... Hold on.
While Jake is deciding who he wants to kill, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we got all kinds of great t-shirts like the one I'm wearing, the one Jeremy is wearing, and all kinds of other great ones. You can get these logos on tank tops, t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, and so much more. teespring.com. Just search the link in the description for this video.
I would like to go. I'm going to start with oak. Wait, what am I doing? You guys roll D100s. This is a game. This is how we do this.
That's a 22 for me.
While they're finishing up rolling, chat real quick, high or low? Somebody in chat say high or low.
Oh my God.
Billy, I want to add to it that while this is happening, and you left at fourth period, at the end of fourth period, which is probably like around, or in the middle of fourth period, which is between 12:30 and 1, something like that. But as this is happening, you get the sense that time isn't just moving quickly or slowly. Time seems to be expanding and compressing around you. So some moments you realize a moment may be an hour, and what feels like hours is just seconds. Jeremy, chat called high, so we don't get much higher than 99, and we don't get much higher than Laz. So Laz, now I know that, so I see what you're saying, Tamiko. Here's the thing. Laz never made it to 6th period because Laz, about the time you found Hefe's body, a glance at your watch tells you somehow impossibly it's the end of the school day. So you feel like you've only been in here for the 4th hour class period.
Like, is it like about to end and like the bell's about to ring and people are going to come out of class, or like I missed the end of school and like this is after school now?
I don't know. Let's find out. Roll a D100.
Ooh, okay. Lots of 100 rolls tonight. Let's do this. 45, right in the middle, Chief.
45. So I'm gonna roll, and if I'm within 25 on either side, it's before.
Okay. Let's go.
Whoops.
Oh, all right.
It's before the end of the class period. Now, here's what I would like you to do, and this is going to give everybody else a heads up. You know what's happening. You, the player, know what's happening with these weird blue squiggles. The iteration is starting to break apart, and it's happening with an increase, and it's unpredictable where these fractures are appearing. I would like you to tell me where you're going and what you do. What happens along the way? What do you see? In what way are these... You have full narrative license to get yourself from point A to point B while chaos is happening all around you. And I have full license to interrupt you with a dice roll.
Okay. I think initially when he sees that Hefe is dead, there's an immediate like response to want to go get help. So I think that he heads towards Sharp's office, even though that's the last place in the world that he wants to go. But I think maybe that takes him like past the gymnasium, and he sees inside the chaos that's unfolding, like the fallen tables, all of the injured people, and it starts to really dawn on him that this is more widespread than he's first thinking. And he immediately changes his tact, and he heads straight for wherever it is that Rosie has 6th period.
Ironically enough, it is the gym.
There you go.
Do you know Rosie's schedule, or?
I imagine probably well enough. We're like several. Are we like several months into school at this point?
At this
Yeah, I
point,
guess.
it's several
Like-
weeks, 6 weeks or more.
Okay, so yeah, about a month and a half. Yeah, I would think
So
pretty well down at this point.
trying to get from so ironically where you are, the Macbeth Theater is 2 floors above the gymnasium.
Okay.
You know exactly where to go, but what is it that you encounter? What chaos do you see between here and there? And I've decided while you were saying that, this is how I'm going to interrupt each of you. At some point during your journey from point A to point B, I will randomly roll a d20. Then you will, or sorry, I will call for you to roll a d20. If I beat you, I get a narrative interrupt. If you beat me, you get a narrative interrupt in your favor.
Okay.
Love it.
So take us from point A to point B, Jeremy.
Okay, so he heads from where he found Hefe just outside of the auditorium towards the closest stairwell that will take him, the 2 flights down that he needs to go to get to the gymnasium. And at some point, I think in the stairwell, he actually finds like a foot, like a shoe, still on the stairs, and its owner is like nowhere to be found. There's like a trail of blood that kind of continues down the stairs and disappears somewhere. And where the ankle is, there's one of these blue lines.
Mm-hmm. Roll a d20.
16.
All right. Oh, it's high.
What happens now? The world explodes. Right on your face, too, bud.
I was gonna say it wins 'cause it's all over Jake's
It didn't
face.
account
Jake's
for
head
tie.
is a 16 now.
I'm gonna say a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I'm going to interrupt, and then you can turn it in your favor. How about that?
Okay.
Since we didn't account for this. As you're standing there, looking, you hesitate where this foot is. You suddenly hear footsteps behind you coming down the stairs rapidly. And then a hand, in a calm way, kind of partially goes around your shoulders and kind of reassuringly grips your shoulder. Somebody puts their arm lightly around you. Mr. Eccles. This can be difficult, but it's going to be in your best interest to dodge the fractures and get back to your room. Turning to the speaker, you see Dr. Devin Sharp. Not
Bro.
the assistant or the vice principal, but wearing the Nexus Laboratories or Nexus Project lab coat and the Nexus Project identification. This is the Dr. Devin Sharp from the first iteration. We need to get you back to your room.
Room.
Yes, your room. You'll be safe there.
My bedroom or my classroom?
He reaches into his pocket and he pulls out one of those little pen lights and he shines it in your eyes, looking for dilation. Which room is it you would prefer to go to?
Well, whatever, this shit's not happening.
Then come with me. Now you can flip this in your favor.
I gotta get to the gymnasium first.
You feel the grip tighten on your shoulder, and then you hear, and suddenly he pushes you, he kind of pulls you back toward him and pushes you down against the steps. And you kind of slide and hit your back on the handrail on the opposite side as he leans back, just as one of these fractures goes between the two of you.
Oh, God.
And he just looks at you and he goes, "Go."
Laz takes off. He actually like jumps up on the rail and like slides down, leaning against the wall with one hand.
This is when Kickstart My Heart starts. Right then.
Coop, where are you in sixth period?
I am in Miss Neebly's art class.
So, describe for us how all hell breaks loose in art class and where you decide to go and how you decide to get there.
Well, my guess is that Coop is concerned because he's sitting in class and Laz didn't make it to class, and so he's sitting there with his paper trying to do his bad origami like Laz taught him before, and while he's doing that, I imagine that a squiggle randomly appears over by like the the giant paper cutter, the ka-chunk, and and goes right through a kid's hand, and they start screaming, holding their stump. Another stump kid, hand stump. He starts screaming, holding his stump, and immediately Mrs. Neebly goes white, thinking that this kid just cut his hand off with the thing. And so she jumps into action, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, somebody get the first aid kit!" And somebody else jumps up to get the first aid kit, and then another slash appears on the other side of the room. This one doesn't hit a kid. This one slices a table in half and paints dump onto the floor, and all hell breaks loose. All the kids jump up, everybody's screaming. Poor little Coop doesn't really know what to do, but kids are starting to run for the door. So he's going to jump up also, and he sees the end of the little squiggle of light, and he's not sure what to think about any of this. But on his way, running out of the classroom, he grabs the lid off of every single art class I've ever been in the 80s. All had one of those big Oscar the Grouch, like garbage cans off to 100%. The side.
Wow.
The metal ones.
Oh, yeah.
Coop grabs the lid off of one of those, and it just decides he's going to use it as a shield if he has to.
I'm going to canonically say that because this is an art class, somebody has painted an image of Oscar the Grouch on the inside of the lid of that trash can.
That's awesome.
I would like you to roll a d20.
Okay.
Coop is going to rise to the top as the hero of this story.
Dear. I hope this isn't a check. That's a 5.
This is a interrupt. If I beat it, I interrupt.
Ball sack.
I was almost a 1. I saw,
close.
Dude. The fucking digital dice. It makes it so much worse.
Sorry, I might have missed you say, where are you trying to get to?
He doesn't really know. So let me consult the map. He runs out of the art studio, and he's just running down the long hall. So he's eventually going to end up in the corridor right in front of the first floor of the auditorium.
Okay. We'll see if you make it there.
I guess he's vaguely heading towards the exit.
Okay.
Since it's right there.
We'll see if you make it there.
Oh, yeah.
as you're running down the
He's
hall,
doing his best.
you start to... It almost sounds like static in your head. And then you realize somebody is trying to communicate with you telepathically.
Coop kind of, he's still running, but he slows down a little bit, moves off to the side so he doesn't get trampled by other kids. And he kind of squints his eyes, and he's trying to tune his brain like a ham radio.
You're catching, as you're doing that, you catch bits and pieces of, this is something that hasn't happened to you before. This isn't somebody telepathically communicating directly with you. You're somehow picking up somebody else's thoughts as they're happening.
Ooh.
And through the
Dropping
static,
leaves?
you hear break their maze to destroy project. Rosie and the others, they're too really happening.
Oh.
But you're better than them. Stronger than them. Choose it, Billy. I can't force you. No one can. And it comes in crystal clear. You're not like
Do
the
I
others.
recognize that it's Algernon's voice?
You have the strength to decide. You can keep running in circles with your so-called friends, or you can take control. And I'm going to make a subtle shift here, because this is what you hear. You can keep running in circles with your so-called friends, or you can take control. Free Anne. Free yourself. Break the Nexus Project. And finally be free. Templeton's voice speaking those words.
Oh! Oh! Oh, shit.
Ah, Tempe. So I heard all of that in Templeton's voice.
You did.
Judas.
Oh.
But could I tell, based on what I heard, that he was talking to Billy, or is that too much?
You heard
Tamiko
Billy's
knowledge
name
coming?
come through at least once.
Oh my god.
Coop just gets really mad and goes, Billy, no! And he projects that with his mind
Interesting.
towards Billy.
Okay. So this is going to be a power token check from Coop.
It is. This is actually, for those keeping score at home, this is my first power token check.
Oh wow! Go get him! Go get him!
I know. Because
Beginner's
Okay.
luck.
I chickened out of the other ones, if you remember.
So the degree of control, you're trying to send a small burst of force some distance away. So that's going to add a +4.
Do it.
You are practiced, so that'll only be a +2, so you're at 6. How much does this break the rules of the universe? Not really. Is this a standard for our universe? The scope. You are trying to go down several levels through. I'm going to call this extra large. So that's going to put us at a 14 that you have to beat with power tokens. Now remember, as a sort of a level up, you get 1 free power token before you start drawing on the 6 that you're, or 7. I don't know why I
That's
said
right.
6. Actually 7. But yes,
Okay.
you get 1 free roll. 14 is the number to beat.
Here goes my freebie. That's a 3.
Okay.
Okay.
3
first
for free.
roll. That's a 5.
That's 8 on 1.
Mm-hmm. So,
I'll
Carrie's
keep score
keeping
of how many dice you've used. Got it.
Thank you.
Numbers are my thing.
Fuck. That's a 1.
9 on 2.
2.
That's a 4.
13 on 3.
13 on 3.
That's a 5.
18
on
with
4.
4 power tokens spent.
How bad does that fuck me up?
Significant physical effects. You will have a physical consequence. Stabbing pains, nausea, and the intensity of the headaches and stabbing pain is so intense that your vision goes blurry.
Ooh.
Coop just, what is it? He had kind of already stopped. He stopped running a while ago. He was just kind of ambling while he was hearing the voice. Now he just stops altogether, puts a hand out where he thinks the wall is, and then just slumps against it and sits.
I need you to... This is straight up hand stuff. I need you to roll the D100 because you put your hand out, and I was kind of thinking something, and then you went and put your hand out, so...
I've almost got a bingo.
25.
25. There is, because of what's happening, there is a 40% chance.
That's a big chance.
So if I
Yeah, it
get...
is.
You got a 25. So if I get between a 5 and a 45, this happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that thing, that tens die was all over the place. So, Coop, you don't see this because of your blurry vision. But you put your hand up on the wall. And one of those lines goes... and several different times it comes like it's gonna hit your hand and it zips up in a different direction. It's almost like what is that called? The game,
the knife game,
the knife game in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Fucking 5-finger fillet.
Yeah, 5-finger fillet. It's like, and it's ironic because it's your power glove hand. You don't even notice it, but what happens is a piece of the wall shifts backwards, and weirdly, through the crack that has been generated in this wall, a little bit of rain, and suddenly a broad green leaf from some kind of plant life goes like an open window.
Jumanji?
You hear
This
the
shit is Jumanji.
with that,
What year is it?
with that, I think, and I don't remember, you guys, it works out anyway. M and Carrie would have been next in line, 85 and 83. We're going to start with you, M, but you guys were both in gym in 6th period when all hell broke loose. So
Yeah,
let's
Jessica
start with you.
Jessica just walked into the gym to see carnage. You know, walked in
Yep.
with the pizza and everything is on fire meme.
Yeah, right.
As
Fine, everything's fine.
And Jessica immediately is going to run to the closest person, who I believe was a student walking around with no arm.
Yeah, they were sort of
Yes.
picking up their arm and like hesitating, and then they picked
Ugh.
up their arm and just kind of not sure what to do. As you
Wandering
approach
around
them,
and shot.
as you approach this girl, she just kind of looks at you and goes, I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's fine. We'll get some ice. I'm sure they can like reattach it or something. She says as she like tucks the arm, like she gives the arm for the girl to like tuck under her arm, and is like trying to like rush her out of the gym.
Where are you trying to take her?
Well, she's also gonna try and like staunch the bleeding as much as she can with
Okay.
like a gym clothes. She's just gonna like take whatever she can and like do her best attempt at like a tourniquet.
Okay. I will say that in this case, because you're basically taking Normally you'd have to take the time to rip a piece of your own shirt or whatever, but the sleeve of this girl's jacket is lying on the ground where it fell off the arm when the arm fell off, or rather when she picked it up. So you're able to pick that up and kind of do your best to tie this off. There's blood everywhere.
Is she seeing a lot of other people who have this, like, who are also injured?
Not only do you see a lot of other people that are injured, the number is increasing because people are panicking. As you look up and look around, you see another girl look at what remains of one of her friends. You see, I'll just say you see pieces. And you see these blue squiggles. She turns to run as a squiggle just goes, looks like somebody just took a line and went, and the momentum carries her upper torso about 4 feet further.
God.
As she collapses. And there's a couple of girls in the class that are literally, they're so panicked, they're just standing still and closing their eyes as this is like one of the pinnacle moments in a horror movie, is what this looks like.
Yeah. So Jessica is going to try. She is trying to tie this tourniquet, but I think she's very distracted. Obviously, she's also looking for Rosie, like aggressively looking, and she's like trying to tie this tourniquet and like using her body to cover this girl as much as she can from these like squiggles. So yeah, she's gonna try and tie this tourniquet. If you need me to make a roll,
I think. Do you have any strengths or ranks that would help you in this?
no, I do not.
Okay.
She's just very attractive.
Yeah,
her
gonna
confidence
charm
is
the
through
tourniquet.
roof.
So I think in this case,
Oh my god. Oh no.
where did it go with it? I'm gonna have you make. Oh my gosh! Hold on. For some reason, pages don't want to turn. All right, page 24. Okay. There we go.
To catch you up, Chad, a girl is chopped in half, and Jessica is trying to tourniquet a girl's arm.
Oh, cool. So a bad magic show. Sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Down.
I'm going to call this a brains check because you're trying to remember how to properly tie a tourniquet. There's some duress involved. This is going to be a difficulty that I have set in my mind.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm generally only telling you the DCs when I'm rolling against myself. But in this case, yeah, it's not extremely difficult, but it's not easy.
Okay, well, I did explode once.
Okay. What's your brains die?
A D6.
Okay.
Which is higher than in the in version 1 of Hits on Bikes, which is great. I'm going to use some pops. It's a 9 right now. I'm going to make it a 12.
Okay. So you're going to spend 3 pops?
Let's make it a 13.
Hey, out of you.
Lucky.
Just to give you that satisfaction. So you're spending 4 pops. So that took you from. That'll be a 2, 3, 4. And then we'll set the 40. You do successfully tie the tourniquet, and the bleeding does stop.
Wow.
I mean, Jessica's mom is a nurse. She must know something.
There you.
Right? That makes sense.
Some stuff.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to do my D20 interrupt. So I need you to roll a D20.
Oh.
Jake, it's rude to interrupt people. You know that, right?
Yeah.
17.
It's what I do. All right. So
So, no, he's not going to get to interrupt with a roll like that.
I hope you have to eat those words.
I will not.
No.
Nope.
It's a
Oh,
5.
whoa.
That's fine.
So you get to interrupt with something in your favor because you won that by a considerable amount.
I get to interrupt myself.
But basically, you get to make something advantageous happen narratively.
Cool. Okay, so Jessica's... So she's able to, like, remember, you know, what her mom, I imagine, told her. Maybe her mom was like, I can imagine telling a story from the hospital and really grossing Jessica out. And she's like, ew, Mom, gross. I don't want to hear about that. But it came out in handy as she has that memory in her mind now, and she's able to, as best she can, staunch a little bit of the bleeding. But I'll say my advantageousness is that she is going to spot Rosie wherever she is and be able to get Rosie's attention as she's trying to, like, Jess is trying to, like, pull as many people as she can towards the exit. And so she looks to Rosie and she yells, "Get everyone outside!" as she's, like, pulling this girl and, like, anyone else she can, like, grab and pull along with her. As she, like, you can see Jessica also, like, looks to Rosie and looks to the girls who are, like, kind of frozen just to, like, get them to, like, move.
With that, as you yell over to Rosie, I imagine the camera does sort of a whip pan and kind of it's that camera move you see a lot in, like, science fiction movies when they're watching a ship move and it's like the camera tries to find them. You see all this chaos, but it's Rosie that's in the center, and then it just does a crash zoom, and now we're on Rosie. Rosie, what are you doing?
If I may make myself slightly cooler than I am, I think it zooms in as Rosie's running towards the exit, which is near where Jessica is. And she, like, sees one of these, like, coming across her path like a clothesline, and she slides under it, baseball style, which is, like, appropriate. And she, like, pops up and is just, like, looking around at the chaos, and she sees all the blood, and I think she kind of freezes for a second. And that's right when Jessica yells and kind of snaps her out of it. And then Rosie goes into, like, business mode, I think, kind of, like... It's on another level, and she starts like pushing people, other girls, towards the door, like girls that appear to be frozen. And like, I imagine there's like a little this school you established is like a 6 through 12 building, right? Like a 6th grade through 12th grade. I imagine there's like a smaller girl that Rosie can like physically like pick up who's maybe hurt, and starts freaking running and just like it's kind of again just yelling at people, trying to snap them out of it, and directing people towards the door.
Make a charm check.
Oh, good.
You are attempting to get several people in a chaotic situation, several teenagers in a chaotic situation, several teenage girls in a chaotic situation.
Is there any way that Jess can help? I don't think there's a help action, but
I will give, and I was gonna say this because you sort of use that as part of your advantage for winning the interrupt. I will give Rosie a +2 to this check, based on your sort of giving her guidance from your interrupt.
I'm gonna kind of blow it all here because I rolled a 1, and so if you gave me a +2, that's a 3. I'm going to use my little star, and that's a 5, and I'm going to use 1 pop to make it a 6. I feel good about that. My star, my bonus, and a pop, please.
You feel good about that?
Yeah.
Judgment-free free zone, Jake.
It's fine.
That's weird. That didn't disappear. There it goes. Just the one pop?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I would like you to roll a d4.
Oh god, this is how many people actually listen to me, isn't it? Fuck. 4. Is it explode?
Sure,
It's
why
one
not?
of those. Yay. 2. That's 6 total.
6 total. You are able to get out of your classroom a handful of girls, plus the one you picked up, to actually listen to you. In barking your orders, 6 different girls, 2 of them at the same time, they are all, in turning to look at you and see what you're saying, they miss as the blue lines catch them. So in trying to help, you cause 6 girls to get injured. Of the 6, one of them, she turns towards you and she says, "Wait, what are we?" And then she just sort of freezes in place.
She like slides.
And you see something fall at her feet behind her, and you realize as her mouth is agape, you can see straight through to the back of her head. And she collapses. As where her head was, a line went behind her. You burst through the door to head outside. That is where I would like you to roll your d20.
Great.
To
God.
to see if something really bad happens. For the record, you failed that check by 3.
Oh, good. Fuck. I got a 5.
Okay.
Oh my god. You're gonna get a 3 anyway. You just watch.
Oh, no way!
What the fuck, Babe Ruth?
That hit a 3 and then bounced all over, stopped on a 19 almost, flipped to a 10 and then a 3.
Points at the left field fence. He calls his shot.
Absurd.
So, as we established with Jeremy, oh no, sorry, this isn't a tie. You just called it. Sorry, you won it. So you narratively,
Damn right I did.
I will tell you, there has never been a more appropriate use of the phrase "out of the frying pan and into the fire." It is an illusion, you realize, to think that there is safety outside. You remember the narrative end of our last session. These blue squiggles are showing up all over Paradise. Cars are being cut in half. People are being cut all around town. Houses. The literal church bell was cut off of one of the churches across town. So as you run outside, you see it clearly and are able to avoid it. But I would like you to say, beyond that, you can turn this into something advantageous. There is a very large squiggle that appears in the ground, in the yard, and across the sidewalk. And where the ground has shifted, as if like an earthquake happened and caused tectonic shifting, you see green wireframe extending down instead of earth. So this is where you can you get an advantage for beating the interrupt.
Oh, good. Well, this is also very positive anyway. I will have such an easy job of it. I guess. Is there, I mean, honestly, probably like Rosie realizes that if she gets hurt, she will heal quickly. Like the whole, like, the adrenaline is wearing off like a little bit and she's starting to think more logically. I think Rosie would go back into the gym and start trying to grab more kids to get them out here. Because at least if they're out here, the building isn't going to fall and fucking crush them. So I think it's slightly better to be outside. Just slightly.
So you're turning to go get more kids?
Yeah.
I would like
so.
1d100 roll for this. Is also going to be a 40%.
This is secretly how many more children you'd kill. Okay, here we go.
We're rolling a d100 for this. How big is this gym class?
86.
86. So within 40 on either
Yes.
side. So 86 minus 20 is 66, plus is 106
46.
or 6.
26.
What did I say? What?
You said but 40 on either side. I missed it
No,
by
sorry, I
one.
meant 20 on either side. It's a 40% chance.
Oh, missed it by a lot more than one.
So you're going to get you're actually getting the good side of this.
Oh, good.
As you turn to run inside, and you see for a moment we see you turn to run inside, and then the camera goes all the way back to Jess. And Jess, you see as Rosie turns to run back inside, you see what she doesn't see. Right across the lower third of the door. And she's moving too fast. You're too far away. As Rosie, your legs are about to cross one of these lines as it's being drawn. And as you go through the door, I would like you to roll me a flight check, please.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh god, it's my worst thing.
Tonight I'm reminding you all more than ever that this is a game. I think we're rolling more dice in one session than we have in a while.
Explode. Okay, that's a 7.
Okay, perfect.
That's a 7. You know what? I'm going to use 3
Nope,
pops. 3 pops.
Don't need to.
10.
You don't need to.
Okay. Oh, okay, good.
This was just to see how well you are able to recover as you hit this line. As it's being drawn, you feel a burning sensation, but it also feels solid, and you trip over the line. And as you stumble and sort of, you do almost an automatic kind of rollout, you first notice that because you're wearing your gym uniform, you're wearing shorts, you see across both of your shins where this sort of jagged line, almost like you got burned, but it like sliced into your skin just a tiny little bit, and already it's healing. Because you are Rosie the Unbreakable, and you seem to have just discovered you cannot be cut by these intersecting lines, these fractures. God. What is unbreakable cannot be fractured.
Yeah, apparently. Holy fuck. So Rosie just like stands up and is kind of slowly looking around, and I think everything slows down at that moment. Like the kids that are running, Rosie just like, yeah.
Slow motion. One of these lines is forming and coming right at you.
I put my hand up and like stop it. Like fucking
And
Neo.
it literally goes, hit your hand. You feel resistance, and then the line deviates in a new direction.
Fuck, that's so cool. Okay, great. So Rosie is like, again, kind of directing traffic and like physically helping kids that are hurt. And do I finally see Jess? I'm looking for Jess too, as
absolutely.
I come back. So I kind of, as I'm like helping another girl, I'd be like, Jess, it's time to go. And I would like be urging her to fucking get the hell out.
Can Jess phase through these squiggles if she runs into one? I'm curious.
You'd have to test it.
I think Jess, well, I don't think she would on purpose, but if it was if it happened where a squiggle was going towards someone else, she would absolutely, well, I guess if she phases through it, that does nothing, so never mind. She would not.
Yeah, it's not like you can, you can't jump in front of somebody and then go, psych! I mean, you can, but that seems like a little more of an and move.
Just kidding.
Don't worry, I'll save you. Just kidding.
I'll say this. You can certainly try.
Oh no.
For you, it would require power token usage.
Okay. I don't think she's gonna try on purpose unless it comes up and you want me to roll. But
so I will say,
she's trying to get...
if there's a situation where you're going to be intersected by one of these lines, you can absolutely attempt to phase through it.
Cool. Jess is gonna try and... The only thing she can think of is getting some of these kids to a hospital because they're about to die, like, right now, if we do not. But... So I think she's going to try and shove some of these people into her car and yell for Rosie to get in.
Rosie runs and slides like Dukes of Hazzard across the hood and gets in.
And yeah, Jess is going to shove in like the most injured, including the girl without an arm, and then is just going to pedal to the metal.
Where are you going?
To the hospital?
Well, the hospital's in Traverse City.
Traverse City General. It's
but
a half-hour drive.
There is a Paradise clinic.
Yeah,
Paradise Health Clinic downtown.
Yeah, I think she would take them there.
Okay, as you're getting everybody in your car and preparing to drive away, Oak, where are you?
I am in Miss Drolin's journalism class during 6th period.
Mr. Webster's journalism class.
Mr. Webster's journalism class.
Drolin is math, obviously.
Drolin is AP English and Lit.
Whoops.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Webster's journalism class.
So, while you're in journalism class in 6th period, describe to us how you start to see all hell break loose and then where you decide to go.
So I think during journalism class, Oak's very attentive, but he's also constantly got ADHD where he, like, you see the scribbles and the little, like, small designs in the margins. He's always like a note taker with additional little notations everywhere. So he's doing what he's doing, but he's also building a conspiracy list on the side of the margin line, like going down the things of like what he wants to do after class, after school, all these things. And then I think it's in one or two of the things that Mr. Webster is talking about that, like, as he goes to like raise a hand and answer a question, his eyes go up and he looks, and then just above where the projector light is hitting the projector, I imagine, like, or hitting the screen, he starts seeing a thin blue line start to bisect the projection screen down the middle. And he, like, thinks for a minute that it might be, like, one of those, like, squiggly picture light worms. He's like, am I seeing that right? No, I can't. And then you can audibly hear the striking of the fabric as it steers down. And then that's when all hell starts breaking loose. And the panic sets in. And I imagine at that point, papers fly everywhere, kids are like leaving desks, and then he can start seeing more and more of these scribble lines going everywhere. At that, he will grab his books, shove them into the backpack as fast as humanly possible, and then heft the backpack up and try to get out of Dodge as fast as he possibly can.
Based on the way you described that, I'm gonna say, as the projection screen gets severed by one of these lines, it's sort of like exactly like you described. You see this one line appear, and then the screen falls apart. And it's literally like curtains being opened to chaos, because you see that more lines have actually intersected on the back wall behind where the projector was. And there's now a large opening in the wall directly to the outside, facing the west side of the building. And you can see people running. You can see the chaos of what's happening in town all over the place. It's like going from, hey, that's weird, to what the...
Oh my god.
So where are you going to continue through the door? Are you going to go through the new hole?
Well, Shake, I know where Oak wants to go.
And where is that?
So I don't think he wants to leave school. I think he wants to find his friends, but specifically in this moment, I think he wants to find Gertie. I think he wants to find Gertie because his idea is get the other smartest person that I know that maybe isn't a teen, right? Like, isn't an older teen right now, because everybody else is having some angst problems right now. I need to just find some kids my age that maybe will be able to get me through this. So
I want you to make a grit check.
Yep, grit check, baby. Let's
I like
go.
how the thought might have been like, I should find Laz. But he's like, Laz is being kind of bitchy right now.
Laz is kind of having a mood right now. I don't like this mood. Let's see. Grit check, baby. Let's go. That's up. That's a 2. Okay, so let me do this. I will use my star to push that up to a 4, and then I will use. What else do I have? I think I will use can I use 4 pops? I feel that's like too much. But 4 pops sounds like a plan, maybe, yeah? Or 5, maybe? I don't know. I think 5 is sound, because that'll put me at a
5 is a good, yeah.
5 puts me at a 9, so I think that'll be better than nothing.
The DC was a 9.
Oh. Ooh, okay.
5 has done well for us. That wasn't a dumb idea.
So I'm going to tell you what you just avoided, and it's for better or worse. You can decide.
Aw.
But
it's
because
like opening up the door.
Because you succeeded, you become aware of what just almost happened. As soon as you thought, I need to get to Gertie, you almost involuntarily activated your power, which allows you to manipulate time and space. You almost involuntarily attempted to bring yourself in space to where Gertie is. And for a brief moment, your form flickers. And you realize, this is something I can do.
Do I take the risk? Do I risk the biscuit? You know what, man? I don't think he can dodge those the laser bullets like he thinks he can. So I think he will attempt to maybe go through the hole that has been created, but then get to a safe space, and from that safe space I will attempt to teleport to Gertie. Like, if I can get out of the classroom, I'll go through the hole to get out of the classroom to the outside, and then from that I want to try to teleport to wherever Gertie is.
So you're attempting to teleport. You do get one free.
Yes,
D6.
I do get one free D6. Yes.
This is a high degree of control because you're trying to not lodge yourself in a floor or a wall or a person. So that's a +4. You are untried in this particular aspect of your power. That's another +4.
Doing something stupid. Doing something stupid.
I disagree. I think this is as good as you can do in this moment.
Interestingly,
Mm-hmm.
this does not break the rules of the universe because we've established that the rules of the universe are wonky when it comes to powers. The scope is extra large. This is going to be a DC 16. You have 7, technically 8 power tokens in which to attempt this.
Okay.
So 16 is what's
One
to
is
beat.
consequence free.
The one
Okay.
free D6.
Let's do it. 3d6. Ooh, that's a good start. That's a 6, so that explodes, baby.
explodes.
Let's go.
For free.
Yeah,
That's
let's
another
go.
6. That explodes again.
What?
That's a total of we're up
12.
to 12. That's another 4. So that'll put me
16
at
on
16
one.
right there.
That's
At-
16.
at
You
3.
just did this without expending
3.
any power tokens.
Yep, without expending any power tokens. Damn, I
Oak-
feel good. I
Oak
feel good
like
about
puts
this.
his hands out and like rises up.
Oak, you managed to think voluntarily about, I need to get to Gertie. And as you step through the door, you find yourself on the second floor of the school, outside the one of the classrooms, where Gertie is with Robbie D and 4 other kids, and her and Robbie they seem to be attempting to lead these kids, saying, do exactly as we do, dodge when we dodge, jump when we jump, and if we stop. Oak, what are you doing? As you just suddenly appear in front of them. Never mind. There was
Don't
no
ask
time for
questions.
this.
Just I'm here to help you. And he'll attempt to help with whatever they're doing. He just wants to help get them out and safe.
We're going to do a D20 interrupt.
Sweet, let's go.
So roll a D20.
He's not afraid of you.
I like how I'm not playing this, and nor have I ever
No.
played this adversarial, but you all
I
are feeling
probably
very
should.
attacked.
Listen, I
No.
probably should feel very scared.
Attack.
It's not like I've tried to kill anybody.
Let's see. I rolled a D20, right? And then I have the.
Yep.
Okay, so D20. I rolled a 6.
Okay, so if I beat that, it interrupts in my favor.
Okay, that was a horrible roll on my end, but you feel free to do that. That's fine.
Whoops, I pushed one of the blank buttons. That's a 17.
Ruh-roh.
Raggy.
You are the last one in this group as we've been bouncing around narratively to everybody. So I'm going to hold my interrupt. As you begin to help Gertie and Robbie help these other kids, I'm going to give you, because I'm holding this, I'm going to give you just a tiny little bit of, and you exploded twice on your, it's kind of like you have a little residual of that super success. There's a couple times where as these lines start to appear, nobody notices it. You barely notice it. You're reflexively slowing time down as these lines appear. So that as it looks like you see that, as soon as you see it, it goes, and for that you're able to get everybody past, and as soon as you're past, boom, it continues on. There's even probably a couple moments where somebody not in your immediate group you see is about to get hurt by one of these fractures.
I yank them.
And you slow time down enough on the it's like you're isolating the time slow on the fractures themselves.
Wow.
And they enough for them to sort of skip ahead. You're the only one that sees this from your perspective as time sort of... which seems to coincide directly with back down in the basement laboratory where Billy was noticing a expansion and contraction of time.
Oh,
See what I did there?
all coming back together again.
As
Let's go.
multiple of these fractures appear across the wireframe model projection of the town of Paradise in this laboratory, Billy. Next to you, Algernon says, all of you children have done excellent. There is no way that the Nexus Project could have predicted any of this. This is just the beginning. We cannot maintain it for longer. It is difficult. Billy, I need you to think. Within the scope of this iteration, think of a day. Think of a time. Do it. If somebody tells you to think of something or not to think of something, you're immediately involuntary. It's kind of like Ray in the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yes.
When he tells you to think of a day and a time, what immediate day and time pops into your mind from the beginning of this iteration to now?
So the first thing that comes to my mind is the first day of school.
Okay. When you were all standing outside the school looking up at it?
Yep.
All of you in your various locations around the school. This is one of those moments where the everything seems to slow down as the chaos is happening all around you. Some of you are huddling, some of you are helping. Rosie and Jessica, you are in Jessica's car, driving across town, dodging
70 miles an hour.
Dodging literal fragmenting buildings and roadways, cars that are cut in half, some of them where you can see the half people hanging out. You see injuries, grotesque injuries all around town. You turn a corner and you feel a nervousness in the pit of your stomach. As Rosie and Jess, you turn the corner, and Jess, for you, this is a new experience. Rosie, for you, it has a feeling of deja vu. As you turn the corner, you find yourself pulling into the school parking lot again. You see no fractures, no injuries. Looking behind you, there's nobody in the car with you. It's the two of you. You see all of the kids as the rain falls lightly on all around. All of the kids dressed in their freshly pressed school uniforms. Looking down, you're both wearing your Paradise uniforms, the sweaters or blazers or the crests. Your hair's done. You're clean. You're uninjured. It's the first day of school. Laz, you find yourself standing in front of the school, looking up at it, holding your skateboard with your backpack slung over your shoulder. Coop, for a moment, you find yourself struggling to get out of these. There's these big leafy branches in your face. There's big leaves of a bush in your face and rain coming down. Where one of the seniors thought it would be funny to push you into the bushes as he walked by. You get out with your slightly dirty and wet uniform, pulling your backpack up, and you see Jess and Rosie pulling into the parking lot. You see Lass standing over there. You see Oak. Oak gets out of a vehicle. The hand reaches out from the passenger side, grabbing hold of your shoulder. Oak says, No, you don't get to start your first day of school without a kiss. And your mom leans out the window, kisses your cheek. And your dad reaches over and says, Will you just let the boy go? And you get out of the car and your sisters get out in their uniforms. A gorgeous looking dark green town car pulls into the parking lot. And Billy Stapler steps out. Billy, you see as all of your friends are gathering to stand in front of the school. Do you approach them, Billy?
I do.
In your mind, you hear a voice say, If this is going to work, you have to play your part. Keep your cards close to your vest. Tell them nothing. The time is right. We will try again. And then you feel the presence of the voice leave your mind. Coop, you have at the end of your right arm the prototype Nintendo Power Glove.
Oh.
But you also have a distinct memory that when you left this morning, as you left the house, you said a quick goodbye to James, the miniature bipedal alligator, and to Penelope. You have a hole. Not in your memory, but in your heart. Templeton never made it to this iteration. You don't know why. For some reason, this can't be good. And as Rosie and Jessica are getting out of the car, walking over or running over to where everybody else is, as you all gather to stand in the rain and look up at your school for the first day of school again. For a fraction of a second, Jessica, your reflection hesitates in the car window. For a fraction of a second, you step forward. Then your reflection steps forward. bell rings. The warning bell. Principal Gunnarsson steps out onto the front steps and shouts down to all of you. Don't think that because you're my kid, you're getting any special treatment. Or any of you for that matter. Get to class! As you all head back in for your first day of school for the second time this iteration. That's where we're going to end this session.
Owie.
For the record,
What?
Chad,
Good grief.
that was my interrupt.
Oh, that.
Okay.
First question.
Yeah.
Check in. How's everybody doing? I know we
Awesome.
went on some roller
Awesome.
coasters.
That was
Pretty much across the
incredible.
board.
That is. Oh, this is.
I have
gonna
to
end
say-
in tears. I could tell.
There were some moments that felt like as they were happening, there were things that happened early that played into something that happened later that seemed like they were planned, and they were just me taking advantage of story beats.
The whole
Mhm,
like
mhm.
interaction of Billy in the basement and the rest of what's happening was perfect.
Thank
It
you,
was
Ted,
perfect.
for letting Palpatine, I mean Algernon, coerce you. I had backups, I had alternate plans,
Perfect.
but I couldn't have asked for a better outcome for this session. And to be clear,
Oh.
you're still in the same iteration. And I should have said this. One other clarification. Once again, you all have all of your memories of everything that's happened.
Oh. Jesus Christ. Oh God.
Yeah.
We're like shell shocked.
I love,
like, well,
I
it's
love
time
that
for
you all
algebra.
are like not really knowing what to say.
Yeah, no. What the fuck?
I'm here for the chaos.
I can't wait for
Listen.
PE today. I bet that won't dredge anything up.
There's a line in a song. I love it and I hate it at the same time. Yeah, no, that's this.
That's
That is
this.
this.
This-
right now.
Wow.
Am I muted? Can you
No,
hear me?
we can hear you.
We can
we
hear
got you.
you.
Hallelujah. Okay. So everybody, let's remember, before the big dance, we have to kidnap and restrain freaking
Fucking
Oak
Gertie.
State and freaking Robbie D.
Gertie, you'll understand this in a minute. We need to keep you in a basement for a week.
Gertie, I don't know how to tell you this, hon. There's things that are happening and I need you to just stay here for like
You're assuming-
24
To
hours.
be
Does it smell
fair,
like
to be fair.
chloroform to you?
You're assuming
Robbie D
everything's
might
going to happen
remember.
the same.
It's
We already know.
Robbie D might
Ooh.
remember because he remembered
point.
last time.
Yeah.
true.
Yes,
You
Yeah.
did.
We already
geez.
know that things are dramatically different for Oak.
Bro.
Yeah, I'll be honest. My tears weren't for Templeton. Screw that ratto. I feel so betrayed. They were happy tears for Oak getting his family.
Yeah,
back.
seriously.
Yeah.
So that was not
Ugh.
something I planned. It was it was when I beat you on the interrupt. I was like, I think I know what I'm gonna do.
Oh.
Got to keep you guys guessing, but at least you don't have Temple or Algernon as your foster dad.
At least
I
there's
know.
that.
I have.
Thank God for
back,
small miracles.
So
back to normal.
who was it?
Maybe?
Who was it that thought Templeton and Algernon were the same person?
All
Like
did.
We all did.
Yeah.
That was
told
revealed.
us that.
collectively at some
Persephone
point, yeah.
told us that verbatim.
No. Well,
Yep.
she
At
told
some
you
point.
that they
So, yes,
Templeton
I
and
thought
Algernon
that.
were the same rat. Knowing what you know, and maybe it was clear, but I definitely think there was.
Jacob, are you saying that they're not the same person?
No, I'm not saying that. But to
I've
what
never
degree?
trusted Templeton ever.
because one is a rat and one is a man.
Well,
But the mirror does weird things, man.
Well, Algernon seems to know all about the mirror and seemed to find the exactly the right things to mess around with. So here's the question. I don't know if he's still here in the chat, but does this mean you guys will get to meet TJ again?
God, I hope so. I mean,
I
what
thought you
the
were going to
fuck
say,
can-
God, I hope
It-
not.
It depends.
No.
It depends if we're ever going to
You
notice
really
the guy.
assumed bitchiness of me tonight. I will say that. I'm just gonna call it
kidding.
out.
All right.
And you got to say, you got to use the words carefully because technically Billy never met him. He never spoke to me.
That's
True.
true. That's true. Wow. I like Billy kind of taking back his power. This is good. This is gonna be good.
I
Great.
am excited to see where this goes. Yeah, I'll say that. Because I will also say there were cards I wanted to play tonight that I decided not to play because
We're playing an RPG game instead of cards.
exactly.
Yes.
I'm over here with these magic
That's
cards
fine.
going, I don't know what to do. I've tapped several lands and nothing's happening.
What is this? Savage Worlds?
What is that? This isn't a D20. This is a
Nothing's
D20, but it's a
happening.
countdown die.
And here I'm thinking you're talking about a regular deck of playing cards.
I just grabbed it, nerd cards. So I will say, no, I just there's things that I felt like it would have been too much on top of what was happening, but I'm gonna hold on to those cards.
Sure.
I feel like with this music cue, you're about to tell us something about the friends we made along the way.
Soft reveals.
So I
Soft
did-
reveals, man.
When I went into that final scene because I thought it would be more dramatic, I shifted to the sad music, which played perfectly for the music cues for the reveal of Oak's family
Sure did.
and everything else. So, hey, thanks everybody tonight for the
Wow.
support. Actually, I just realized I don't think I ever awarded a tone or a pop for your bits.
I don't think you did, but it was in a hectic moment. I'm sure Tamiko would have caught you.
There we go. No, I remember seeing them in the moment, and then something was happening that I didn't do it. So now it's awarded.
I didn't notice. We all need to be vigilant.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, it's
Yep.
a team effort.
On top of it, teams.
Thank you everybody
pops.
for the support, the bits and the subs, and thank you to formerly known as Emily who rated from their Baldur's Gate 3 live play. If you're not already following them, check them out. Thank you to the Architects of Fate who rated us as well. If any of you are still here, welcome. Yeah, thank you for all of that. Thank you to people in the chat. I know chat was pretty active tonight, as usual. I always appreciate that. But I think the biggest kudos and thanks goes to these, once again, to these amazing people that I got to play this game with. They trust me to just put story in front of them, and they're gonna go for what they go for and do what they do, because they have such incredible characters. They just don't have any questions. You guys never question what would my character do. You just do what your character would do. And I love that. I love seeing how these characters have evolved and continue to evolve, especially in the latter half of this season in particular. It seems like you're really starting to figure out more and more what's happening, and I'm hoping that's giving you a little more direction. And you get a sort of a do-over for school, it seems. So thank you to each and every one of you. I love you guys. I love playing these games with you. I love telling these stories and going on this journey together. So thank you, Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, and Em, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
I am the very model Oliver.